The fifth season of The Boys has been barreling forward, but here, Episode 5 abruptly slams the brakes. Instead of pushing the main plot, we're thrown into a jarring, non-linear, day-in-the-life structure that fragments the narrative into isolated character perspectives. We spend time watching Butcher's dog Terror go to town on a stuffed Homelander doll. We follow Black Noir, the new one, Justin, navigating petty backstage theater drama that ends with the Deet literally shoving a gill up a director's backside. It feels erratic. The constant barrage of bizarre shock humor and hyper-specific meta-comedy is highly distracting, leaving you to wonder if the show has lost its focus. But that distraction is exactly what the writers want. It gets you to lower your guard. While you are laughing at the absurdity of the VOT machine, the real threats are quietly slipping past your peripheral vision. Behind the formatting gimmicks, the board is being set for an apocalyptic climax. This disjointed pacing is a deliberate trap. It camouflages the moment the show's internal logic shifts from corporate satire to an inescapable countdown for humanity. The easiest way to miss a threat is when someone else is making a lot of noise. While Homelander generates literal bloodbaths, Sister Sage sits in an office having a quiet drink with the two Ashleys. This network diagram maps Sage's strategy. Her manipulation starts within VOT, branching out to influence military assets. She plans to release the soup-killing virus, framing humanity to trigger a global war, burning down the world out of pure spite. Meanwhile, Homelander and Soldier Boy are busy hunting down the elusive V1 compound. This leads them to a mansion in Los Angeles and directly into a ridiculous Hollywood satire featuring Jared Padalecki as Mr. Marathon, a washed-up former member of the Seven dealing drugs to A-listers. The scene plays out as a goofy supernatural reunion, especially with Misha Collins showing up as the shape-shifting Malchemical. But the tone snaps instantly from comedy to horror when Marathon and Malchemical spring a trap, revealing they intend to kill Homelander to stop his godhood campaign. What follows is a truly brutal massacre. Malchemical gasses Homelander, but the ensuing fight spills down into the basement, where actors like Seth Rogen and Kumail Nanjiani are just hanging out. Rogen gets literally split in half as the A-list guests are slaughtered in the crossfire. The writers use these massive celebrity cameos as bait. You are so distracted pointing at the screen, recognizing familiar faces playing exaggerated versions of themselves, that you are completely blindsided by the sudden, extreme escalation in violence. That violence highlights a fascinating parallel between Soldier Boy and Firecracker. Both characters spend this episode desperately seeking connection and validation from a makeshift family, but their paths head in completely opposite directions. When the trap is sprung in LA, Soldier Boy doesn't let his son die. Instead, he drops his cynical detachment. He snaps Malchemical's neck and chases Marathon through the basement, trampling Will Forte and the rest of the frightened celebrities in his path. Instead, he actively chooses to protect Homelander. Because Homelander spared his life in the previous episode, Soldier Boy returns the favor. They are finally on the same page. The two most dangerous, virtually indestructible Supes on the planet have forged a genuine familial bond, creating a nearly unstoppable, fully united front. Firecracker, on the other hand, finds no such bond. She ruins her childhood pastor's life on live television, framing him as a groomer, all to appease Homelander. She destroys her own moral foundation and alienates the only person who actually cared about her. Her reward for that absolute loyalty is a death sentence. Back at Vought Tower, she begs Homelander for forgiveness after sleeping with his father, but she makes one critical slip of the tongue. She tells him that everyone needs love, even God. She implies that he has a weakness. Homelander reacts instantly. He grabs her head and crushes it violently against a solid brass American Eagle statue. The woman who built her entire identity around hyper-nationalist propaganda and devotion to a false god is literally bludgeoned to death by the symbols she worshipped. These two storylines expose the brutal reality of Vought's ecosystem. Desperately chasing approval in this world leaves you with exactly two options. You either embrace the violence and become a monster alongside them, or you simply become tragic collateral damage. Looking at the episode as a whole, the chaotic pacing serves a specific purpose. This splintered formatting tracks the deteriorating psychological states of the characters before the final collision. The board is set for the final 3 episodes, and the villain's side is terrifyingly streamlined. Firecracker's pathetic need for approval has been eliminated from the equation, leaving Sister Sage operating in the shadows, quietly maneuvering the globe toward total annihilation. Meanwhile, the heroes are fracturing. Mother's Milk and Frenchie have fully accepted that they probably won't survive this fight. The only glimmer of hope comes from Butcher, who shows a rare flash of humanity by agreeing to use the elusive V1 compound as a vaccine to protect his team, rather than just a weapon. But the boys are marching into a nightmare. With the internal bickering finally silenced, Homelander and Soldier Boy stand together as a unified front, ready to enforce their will on humanity. Episode 5 proves just how deceptive the boys can be. The show feeds you absurdity with A-list cameos and bizarre dog fantasies, lulling you into a false sense of security. But pay close attention to the punchlines. In this universe, the moments designed to make you laugh the hardest are the exact moments you should be the most terrified.